Welcome everyone. My name is Night Falcon. I'm going to be here hosting today in this off-season competitive league week 1 matchup between SAP and TRR. Happy to be here. Hopefully not throwing anybody any confusion right off the bat, as we I do not have a Kursk intro. So Kharkov was the one that I had both the Russian and the German side on it, so I thought I'd give you that one to get us started. But hopefully not throwing you off too much today, because we are playing on Kursk. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it while we're waiting for the rest of the groups to go ahead and get started. So what sets this league apart from other leagues? Well, kind of like TPL, we're running with a Panther ban. Meaning that the Axis forces, the heaviest tank they're going to be able to roll out is going to be a Tiger tank. Another interesting thing about OSCL is going to be that the HQ arty is actually banned, so we're not going to be seeing any static artillery guns. The only arty play that's going to be out there is going to be from the side of an SPA, a self-propelled artillery vehicle, which is fairly new when it comes to the Hell Let Loose sphere, being added in update 19, I think. Yeah. Anyway, it's a fun little thing to be able to drive around. I don't know how many of you guys have been able to do it, but definitely adds a whole different perspective on things, simply from the fact that it can take out enemy outposts. It can't take out garrisons, though. No garrisons. It can take out enemy outposts, so that makes it pretty interesting, if you ask me, to see how teams go ahead and employ that and use it in their overall strategy. The second part about OSCL that makes it very interesting is that all flares are banned. So in other leagues and throughout the competitive meta, flares have been heavily used to be able to identify enemy positions, advances, see where they're breaking through lines. Here, no good. Can't use them. So it's going to be left up to the commander recon plane abilities, and the recon tanks are going to become very, very beneficial to teams to help try to spot where enemy advances are coming from. Like other leagues, though, nodes, they're going to be indestructible still. We want to be able to go up. We want to stay up. We want both teams to be able to generate resources at the same clip, but it's going to be up to the commanders on how they allocate those resources. All commander abilities are also allowed, so that means you're going to be seeing things such as the commander arty ability, which, while it's not like when it was first rolled out where you could take out garrisons, it can do a good area denial and try to prevent people from getting in through places. So I'm honestly very excited to see how that one works out, being a commander myself. And so we'll keep an eye on that throughout the course of the match. And then, like I said earlier, SPAs are allowed. Going to be very interesting to see how that plays into the matchup today, especially on such a tank heavy map like Kursk. Those things are going to become big sore thumbs out there. Definitely juicy targets for all AT and enemy tanks. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about what leads us into this grouping that we have today. So for those of you that haven't experienced it before, welcome. Honored that I'm your first competitive Hell Let Loose environment stream here. But let's talk a little bit about what this is all about. So Hell Let Loose has 2 different game modes in it. One being offensive and the other one being warfare. We're going to be playing warfare today. And the simplest terms, warfare is kind of like a tug of war, where there's one point set to be attacked by one team, and they also have a point that they're trying to defend at the same time, just as the other team is trying to defend their point and attack their point and attack your point. So let's use this map as an example for what we have in front of us right now. So at the very beginning of a match, this middle grid square right here is going to be unclaimed. It's going to be neutral territory with 1 point available. So we're not going to be playing over windmills today. We're actually going to be playing over Oleg's house, which is going to be right over here. So the Axis side, the side that's currently listed in red, but when we get to the actual game will be blue. I know, confusing, right? But the Axis side is going to have the cap advantage to get into Oleg's house, which is going to be this grid square right here. So SAP is going to be the side that we're casting from, and they are very much anticipated to get that initial cap. So what does it mean when I say cap? That means taking over and controlling the point. So let's say SAP does get in and they get that initial capture. This whole sector will turn blue, and it will open up a point either here or here for them to then be able to have their attacking point, and Oleg's house at that point will then become their defending point. And so for the course of the next 90 minutes, we will be trying to go, they will be trying to attack this point, and defend this point. Now, how scoring is based, if you see down here at the bottom of the screen right now, it is 2-2. That means that both teams have 2 sectors that they control, and this is how the match is going to start. And so once that match starts and that first point is captured, I'll go ahead and adjust the score appropriately. And if a team captures all 5 sectors before the end of the 90 minutes, they win that, the match ends, and we go along our merry day. If they are consistently contested, then wherever the match is at the end of the countdown clock of 90 minutes, and you'll see that up at the top. Once we get that up, you can see it right here. That will be up at 90 minutes, 130 minutes, or 1 hour, 30 minutes once the match starts, so you can kind of see that as well. But once where we are at that point will determine who's the winner, whether somebody has 2 sectors, 3 sectors. The winner with the person with the 3 sectors wins. Anyway, basically, person with the most captured territory wins. So I'll kind of explain this as we go throughout the course of the match, but normally I'd say if you have any questions, feel free to put in the chat. This stream is on a 30-minute delay, so it's gonna take me some time to be able to see that message and respond to it appropriately, but I will do my best to try to answer it for you if I see it in the comments or whatnot, so that we all can be understanding of what's going on and have it going. So let's take a look and see what the status is here. Okay, looks like SAP is ready. TRR. Looks like we're hopefully going to be flipping here as this clock is going to run out for us to go ahead and get started into this matchup. It's going to flip us to the right sides, and we can hopefully get this ball rolling. All right, so we're going to see if the Hellas gods shine favorably upon us today at this flip. If it does flip to Oleg's house, we're live. If not, we're going to do another double flip to get us into the right place and the right sides. So fingers crossed that everything flips well here in 9 seconds and it goes to Oleg's house. So we'll find out. Oh, but it's flipping to an entirely different map. So that means we're going to be double flipping here in just a moment, because we want to be on Kursk. So while we're waiting to get everything turned around and figured out here, as you can see, the ambient dog barking noises here. Well-known myth around the Hell Let Loose community that those dogs like to point out towards enemy infantry. But as you can see, we have no location on the map at the moment, so can't necessarily bark out any locations to us. Unfortunately, just a soundscape of the map. Chat currently going off here real fast. As we try to sort this out here real fast. Oh, but of course you can't hear it because I don't have the PlayStation sound on. That makes it even more fun for you guys watching at home. All right, PlayStation sound is on now. Everything appears to be in order. We'll just listen to the cawing of the birds in the background for a moment. So I'll use this as a good opportunity to call out here this week. I hope to start a new show that I'll be premiering on my channel called the After Action Report. The idea behind this is that we can simply review some of the matchups of each of the leagues that played over the weekend, give you the final scores on some of the more key matchups. We can go over some of the stats. We can look over some of the highlights if I'm able to get those. And just basically recap the last weekend's action in the Hell Let Loose community. That's the console side, of course. So I don't have access to the PC side. So we're not going to be looking at PC side, just purely looking at the PlayStation side, or the console side. So yeah, that's the idea, is that we want to be able to give some exposure to some other leagues. Right now, with the amount of streamers there are out there, definitely a shortage. Not enough to cover everybody. We want to be able to try to give as many matches some perspective as possible. Make sure everybody has some type of word in the ether about how their matchup went. Give some teams that might not have gotten some exposure, and also give some exposure to some leagues that are maybe not as well known. So yeah, that one's going to be premiering tomorrow night. I believe 10 o'clock Eastern time, American Eastern time, is when I've set to have that one go. So yeah, should be exciting. I want to try to keep it about 30 minutes. Don't want to really keep anybody too long. I know you guys have lives. I have a live. Plus the end of a long Monday, I want to be able to try to enjoy my time as well, and to prevent my wife from getting too bored of me not being around. So I want to be able to find the nice balance between everything there. So I invite you to go ahead and tune in. I do already have a match or a live scheduled for it, so you can feel free to click that little remind me button to let you know when I go live. That one will be live. No 30-minute delay or anything like that. We'll be live, and so you can interact with me in real time. Hope to have some other casters with me in the future, but for this initial broadcast, just going to be me. Lots to cover, but we're going to give it our best go. Give it a good old schoolyard try, or whatever you call it. Anyway, match is flipped. We are now going to go live. We're just waiting for everybody to get into squads before I go ahead and make a squad as well. Want my to be all the way at the very bottom, just to prevent any problems with the jumping around between things and whatnot. All right. Find a nice comfy bed of grass here and go right into it here. So Kursk, officially my first matchup stream on Kursk. Very excited to be able to do it here as we meet for week 1 action between SAP and TRR. I've had the opportunity to cast for TRR in the past. Also have casted some matches that SAP has played in, but I believe those ones were all against GOAT. And so I always casted from the GOAT side. So it's nice to be able to be here with you guys today, casting from your friendly side. To finally be able to lend my voice, my insights to your guys' advancements and things. So as we talk about this matchup, this point, so Oleg's house, as you can kind of see, sits in the middle of a ravine, where you have hills up on either side. And ultimately, Axis forces are going to come from this side, Allied forces from this side, and they're all going to try to concentrate and get down into that area. Now, some key parts and places that you'll want to focus on. Yamki, this section right here, really controls a lot of the major flows back and forth between not only the windmills point here to the south or to the west, but Oleg's here to the east. So this is going to be a big traffic area that people are going to try to get themselves up and into as they try to get into Oleg's. Now, for the Axis, there's a small little house right there that you can see. Going to be able to provide some nice MG cover down into that area. So MGs, I would expect to be very, very deadly when it comes to today's matchup. We can already see some SAP move marks getting put down. Looks like some people trying to get down into those trenches. And from the sounds of it, we've had initial supply drops come in. Both supply drop coming in around that house that I kind of marked there. And then also for the Allies, we have some going up there down on the backside as well. Most likely you get some garrisons up to try to help out that garrison network. But without further ado, let's jump on into it and see what kind of action we have going here for us today. From the SAP side, we've got 2 tanks coming out of the bottom. Looks like a light and a medium, as well as the SPA. And also 2 recons. Oh, also going with the light, a second Lux. So going with a 4 tank opener here, right off the rip here for SAP. On a tank heavy map, definitely something that you're going to be looking to try to keep your eyes on. As far as the Allied side go, we got just looks like the standardly spawned in tanks with the SPA as well. Trucks starting to roll into the point here. SAP coming in from the right. Left side going to be TRR as the Allies. That's like a rocket shot did happen. No collateral damage though at the time. So the SAP very first to the point here as TRR begins to set up a defensive line along that top ridge into the section. Good rocket coming in, but an initial tank strike looks like they were able to go ahead and get a hit onto this vehicle down here. Yeah, into the transport trunk. Luckily for the TRR crew, they were able to get out in time. Avoid that little deadly interaction there. So there you can see the initial rounds coming in for the Axis SPA. Now, very interesting flight patterns for these SPAs as they kind of fly in like a javelin missile and shoot straight down. But the Lux going to town here on the TRR crew that's coming up over the top. With the medium tank here pushing down into Oleg's here for TRR. Well, she running around on the backside, trying to stay alive, making sure his team has spawns. With an initial strike going right off the front side, this medium tank for TRR already getting bombarded, but ricocheting things like a Jedi in battle here with his lightsaber. Now really causing some damage to the tracks, forcing him to back up, get some distance from the attacking onslaught though. It appears that it's all just cosmetic damage, really. As it looks like he popped himself back up. No armor hull damage yet to be known of. Just his tracks on fire. Still willing to go ahead and try to peek that angle, see if he can get an angle on those Luxes. And with that first cap, initial goes to SAP, leading 3-2 here in this week 1 matchup. Coming out very strong right off the bat and claiming that mid cap without much of a problem. as it stands, SAP currently dealing with a good amount of room here to kind of move up into that point. TRR is forced all the way back off to this garrison. We saw him get wiped out pretty well here due to that Lux opener. But they're slowly starting to push their way down here into this point. So this area right here will be key. If this medium tank falls, it's going to be pretty interesting to see what happens and how quickly SAP can kind of take over that area. As defense in depth currently is our middle point, so offset for both groups. Shot from the TRR medium hitting the bank as it tries to just do everything it can to just sneak it over the top edge. But again, hitting the bank as Siggy is able to take out the SAP player there. Go ahead and zoom on over here. Get a look at the line from the SAP side. SAP, SPA, rolling right there on Muddy Churn. Here's that we lost some vehicle over here. Let's take a look real fast. May have just been a transport truck. Looks like that is what it is. So windmills heavily being controlled by TRR. SAP starting to get really pushed down into Yamki. One Lux, 2 Lux, medium. SPA, looks like the recon tanks have fallen. Got 1 recon tank up for TRR. And just like that, looks like we've lost one of the Luxes here for the SAP crew. As Sabbath just tries to control this western side, but Spivvy gonna remove him from the competition, leaving that door a little more wide open. Franco for SAP being the only one here watching over that western side. As Spivvy moves on up into the other houses. So the TRR crew currently just slowly weeding their way here into the area. As the Lord of the Underworld himself here, Mr. Anubis, fighting up against Sabbath here. Anubis taking out Pingham. Sabbath taking out Anubis. Let's zoom on back over and take a look and see how the medium tank is faring here for the TRR crew. Looks like he is not faring very well as he is currently dead and blown up there. Yep, no longer on the field, so that medium tank gonna really be a costly thing here for TRR trying to hold up this area. Granted, the SAP armor appears to be shifting west to try to help out with that incursion there, leaving this front portion of the hard cap area, of the soft cap, hard cap area open. Maybe for the next TRR tank to come on up and cause some issues. It looks like they've got 1, maybe 2 crews waiting up there in that top right HQ for some heavies, as they will now become available as we are 10 minutes in. Another Soviet light tank coming on up. With Papa Mike trying to find cover behind the small little mound of dirt in front of him. Turbo Taco taking shots, but Papa Mike knows that he is there. Papa Mike's popping shots at Turbo Taco. Turbo Taco flinching just a little bit as he gets hit, but gonna end up having the last laugh there on Papa Mike. Lucas getting mowed down by the tank. Smoke from the Axis side, just trying to help provide some cover as they move up to get to some bush. not very much cover here in general when it comes to this landscape here on Kursk. Makes it effectively a Tinkers and an MG player's dream there. Because they have plenty of firepower. Plenty of long distances to be able to see everything they could potentially want to see. SAP Lucas being very much the backbone core of this group here as he drops supplies so necessary here in Hell Let Loose. More people, unfortunately, need to be looking to drop those supplies. For people at home watching this, make sure you take note of this. Supplies win matches. Supplies build garrisons, supplies build defenses, build repair stations. Without supplies, the grind of your war machine ends. You cannot do much. So make sure, for all you friends out there, support your officers, support your commanders, drop supplies. All it takes is a life. And you too can help your team advance in the Hell Let Loose sphere. Got a battle coming up here. Curtis Cat falling to Brahm and Bandin. Bandidin. Sorry, Bandidin. I said that wrong. I know I did. But that's what we're gonna roll with right here. Let's go ahead and clear out some of these extra marks as we see a spawn off of that TRR OP. Oh, nope, that is an SAP OP. Now, Kursk, also with its open fields, is concentrated a lot on some tank, or on these trench warfare tactics here. Just slowly having to move, as it's the only cover for quite some distance, as these guys just continue to get mowed down here. Zelensky falling on the Ukrainian battlefield there. Bandidin. And the Bull coming up. Bull throwing some grenades. Taking out one, leaving Bandidin all by himself. Bandidin choosing the path of least resistance, able to go ahead and maneuver around Curtis Cat and the Bull. Big flop of those going to be coming up on his backside. Bandidin trying to find what little cover he can, but Big Floppa no doubt hurt him as he moves right on up to Bell, runs right past Bandidin. Bandidin missing the shot, getting it though on the second, third chance. Curtis Cat though hearing the shots, coming back to try to figure out what happened to Big Floppa. Bandidin again maneuvering around, but not going to be fast enough for Curtis Cat as he is eliminated. Zelensky from the grave here as he moves on up down that trench again here against the Bull and Weefrazbo. We'll run with it. All right. So let's zoom out just a little bit. After a few seconds of having a little bit of front door action there, SAP has been able to respond very well and has pushed TRR back when it comes to their areas of controls. SAP now owning this trench, which is a really key trench when it comes to owning anything here in the middle sector. And I apologize that I had my little thing there. But here we go, right here. This trench right here, very, very key to holding that position. Now, one thing I do need to do as well, let's go out here. All right, and now here we are about 30 minutes into the broadcast, so we're gonna welcome everybody here. Appreciate you for joining us. And my name is Night Falcon here, casting this week 1 matchup of the OSCL, the off-season competitive league between SAP, focused on the Axis side in blue here for us today, and TRR, that's going to be represented as the allies in the little red cherries. So we have moved greatly here into more of the trench warfare here, as Welshie Curtis Cat face off against Sap Broom, Zudmeister, Roka, and Weefer Zabo. Bullet, though, coming in behind, taking them out, leaving Weef all by himself. But SAP continuing to grind the TRR defenders out of the way. TRR being very much focused and pushed into the windmill sectors. They try to get back in, but SAP doing very well at controlling that intersection, not allowing them to get even into Yamki. Because if Yamki were to fall, it opens up that door for Oleg's house. So right now, doing very well, SAP able to control a good amount of the bad guys, that we'll call them. Not that TRR are bad guys, but for us, Red's easier to call the bad guys, as they are on the opposite faction. They're doing essentially pretty well at controlling him. The Red Devil and Goose, Private Ryan, all making a move up into that trench. Red Devil able to get up there. Being an officer will open up the door greatly for TRR to be able to get back up into that sector by putting down that OP. Get as many spawns off of it as possible to continue just to leapfrog and try to anchor their way back into this point. Galavio making a good distance run into the point towards defense and depth, but unfortunately being mowed down by Anubis. Look at that art from that SPA. See all the different areas where it has landed so far, as we see another shell coming in from that SPA, flying in, gliding above our screen, right down into the trench. Gets one. I thought for sure Curtis Cat was going to be on the receiving end of that. Luckily enough, it got his buddy and not him. Yes, Skeptic making a Skeptic a bullet for you. Said, no sir, I do not want any of those bullets. You can have them. So more and more bodies for SAP falling to the defenders here at TRR. But Skeptic still finding his way back into that back line. Now, we talked about how vital the armor situation is. And so let's go ahead and zoom out. Let's take a look and see if we can identify where these various tanks are for these crews. As it currently sits, we got one medium tank for TRR, one heavy tank, one IS-1 up here, and then another T-34 medium tank coming in on that side. For the Axis side, we've got a Lux right here. We got a heavy tank out here on the edge with the Tiger side, and it looks like we have another Lux that's building up and repairing a little bit right there. So it's 3 tanks against 3 tanks, but the overall strength advantage going to the TRR crews, as we just see that Lux that was here on the outer side drop and die there. So that is going to open up the armor advantage definitely to TRR's favor, as they appear to be stacking them up here on this western side here. Bombing run coming in though for SAP Commander Polycarpo. Will it be able? It will miss the garrison that's up here, just a little farther north. but Mr. Xbox appears to be right in the middle of that bombing area. As we see that medium tank for the Allies fall down, Mr. Xbox trying to run for his life. Mr. Xbox able narrowly to dodge those bullets, those bombs coming on in. And it appears that bombing run not going to do much of anything, unfortunately, for the SAP side, as that garrison on windmills is going to stay alive. SAP moving great down the trenches here, right in the front door towards defense depth. SAP Handsome, if he's able to go ahead and continue to control that trench, it's going to open the door greatly for his guys to go ahead and get into it. And this is really a battle by the trenches, kind of jumping trench to trench. As a rocket comes from backside of Narnia, falling without any damage on it, but no one putting the fear into SAP that they've got the range to be able to do it. Bandit moving up, Big Floppa. Big Floppa gets the first shot, but Bandit closes it and says, "That's mine. Get out of here." Bandit throwing the grenade. Grenade lobs. Apatis right on it. Hears it, runs away, but is able to get away without causing much damage here. Bandit moving on up under the explosions. Papatis holding the angle here. He's got the bazooka out, so going for the big trench warfare play here. Papatis blows him up, just saying, I'm not even gonna give you the option to try to shoot me. I'm just gonna blow you to smithereens here. Trying the strategy again, this time 3 enemy combatants moving up the trench. But Mod done it, able to clear them out, allowing Kapitas to go ahead and wait and save that rocket. Potentially for that Panzer IV that's moving up there. But Mod done it. Really just causing havoc here as he moves on up through the trenches. Skeptic just trying to avoid all the damage there. As a good rocket from Papatis. Very, very good rocket. Big Papa takes out Saparoka. Coming off the OP spawn. Fortunately, had no chance as Floppa had gun trained ready to go. But we do see a garrison there for the Allies, or sorry, for the Axis there. Nope, not a garrison. My eyes tricked me. It was a Panzer IV. I've got Falcon losing all credibility here on your ability to identify things. So be it. At the end of the day, I'm just some guy sitting in a dark room somewhere, watching a screen, yapping about a competitive video game. But we love it. That's why we're all here. What are we talking about? Hello, Loose is life. We know that. Anybody in the competitive sphere knows that it's life. We love it. Love to hate it. Oh, somehow it's the cruel mistress that keeps bringing us back every time we think we're going to get away from it. So, we're seeing a good amount of ebbs and flows here, as TRR has now been able to move themselves back up into the trenches there. Kind of zooming out a little bit. Allows us to see that greater scheme of things here. As TRR is mounting a pretty good little push. Get themselves back up into this sector. Getting them all the way back into this trench, as I was telling about there. Red Devil and his crew got up in there, and it looks like that has been able to allow Welshie and other crews to get up in there as well. So that's one thing that I just love about Hell Let Loose, is watching the ebbs and the flows. How one team will hold an advantage, be able to press and attack for a little bit. The other team will be able to remount, try to be able to get back on top of it, and you'll see some pressure come back in. One key thing that both of these commanders are trying to read today, not only the movement of their troops around the map, is to be able to read when those ebbs and flows are happening. Because if you're able to time a push along with those ebbs and flows, use your rockets, your bombing runs, you really can do a lot of damage if you time it perfectly. And that's why commanding in this game is so difficult. Not only are you responsible for trying to keep up some spawn points so your guys can get in, but trying to read and understand those pushes. Many games have been decided by commanders being able to time those and mistime those respectively. Gruber able to take out the TRR attacker. Well, with the help of this P4 coming on up here, crewed by SAP, Vlad leading out the charge here. They are moving to try to clear these guys out. Anubis sneaking along the backside, but that gun got... Oh, we saw that gun snap right to him there. Credit there to Mr. Elias as he was able to go and take out Anubis. Saw him very quickly, snapped to him and fired him into oblivion. There's really a battle over the trenches here at the moment. Red Devil making another press. Will he be able to get out whoa! Madriga. Third party's that situation that eliminates him. But Goose let loose. Said, I gotta watch out for Red Devil there. Alright, so we have a Katyushka strike coming in here. Will it clear the garrison? It's one of the hard things about these Katyushkas. They have a shorter redeploy time, shorter cooldown time, but they're not as accurate as they are in area of effect weapon. Versus the bombing run that will clear anything out in its light. It looks like for the time being, that garrison going to be able to stay alive as it is nice and sheltered inside of the fence and the building there. No rocket able to land right on top of it. The point already being contested here for SAP. Looking to try to keep some guys in the defensive point here, make sure they don't not lose that. All right, so to give you insight into what the stats currently look like, can't really show them on the screen due to just the overall look and inability to go ahead and throw them up like I have in other leagues. But as it currently stands, Kloss leading us out here with 24 kills on the TRR side. Dick Floppa also running around with 24. So a little bit lower scoring so far than we have in some of our matches, but TRR making pushes here into the point as we start to see some cap pressure falling here as TRR continues just to push on in. But defense pressure coming back up in for SAP. All garrisons still in working order for the SAP side. Like I always like to say, it is usually not the first push that gets you the point. It's again back to those ebbs and flows, and right now there is the ebb going in the direction of TRR, causing SAP to be a little bit on the back foot. How will they respond? That is the question that we will yet answer, as this appears to be one of our biggest areas of focus at the moment. If they can get up, if TRR can get up and get to this garrison, that's going to allow them to fully control Yamki. It's Legion Werewolf finding his way on top of the building here, able to get a good line of sight on the SAP defenders. Many of you might not know, but all of these yellow buildings are able to be climbed. You're able to get up on the roof right, just like Legion Werewolf is doing. Which can really confuse a lot of players as they do not expect people to be up there if they're not familiar with it. Our squad coming off an OP to the north, trying to get a flank here on these guys, pushing down to Yamki, but looks like not much trouble doing for the TRR crew. The recon plane goes flying up over the top. So can we see what plane it is? Looks like probably going to be for the Allies. Now this is going to be a dangerous little area here as Klaus mounts on up. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what he's looking at. Now that unfortunately is not going to cause us much help there, as his gun for sure was up over the edge, but when we go up and looked into it, not there. So unfortunately couldn't get a good look at what his view perspective was, but I mean, let's give you an idea of what it looked like here. If you're mounted right up on there, you can see quite a good amount of stuff here. But Bullet also finding his way up, probably given this destroyed truck route here, able to get himself up into the top here. Gonna be squaring off against the Legion Werewolf. Take away all the extra stuff and leave just who we can see here. As it appears they're playing a game of whack-a-mole up over the top. Bullet, though, decides to run and see what he tries to see if he can just push on the attack here to the yellow house here. Bullet taking out Anubis. May have also got Goose. But Bullet making a good push as Werewolf falls. So SAP responding well, pushing these guys out of Yamki. And just like I was saying, this is really going to be where the key push comes in through. As this area, if SAP can control this, they'll be able to block off Oleg's very well. TRR are going to continue to focus a lot of bodies in here because a lot of their frontline pushes have to come across fields, and that leaves them susceptible to various things that could cause them problems. So most cover definitely going through the area of the Yamki approach area. But just like that, TRR getting some cap progress here on Oleg's. They slowly devote more and more bodies to the front line. SAP trying to do everything they can to keep him out of there. As another Katushka strike comes in, centered across the same area as before. Will it get the garrison this time? See the strikes starting to come in. Need one just to slow in here. Got one that could possibly look to do it. Nope. Sails on over. Rockets landing close, but not close enough to get the garrison. One of the most cinematic commander abilities, I must say, here in the Hell Let Loose game. That Katusha strike, pretty awesome to watch come in, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that angle as much as I enjoyed giving that angle there. For the time being, that garrison again gonna stay alive there. As Raphael's found his way into the back line here. Raphael looking around. Gotta find the garrison. We know it's somewhere around here. Raphael's getting close though. Up there by that yellow house as a grenade comes in here. Iron Maiden trying to lay the hammer down. I wonder if Iron Maiden's one of those that likes to listen to heavy metal throughout the course of matches. I'm sure there's people out there. But with a name like Iron Maiden, if anybody was going to do it, it's going to be Iron Maiden. Keeping it safe for the time being, garrison in the middle of Oleg's going to stay up. Now backing up to the relative safety of 2 repair stations here, this Tiger tank going to get repaired fairly quickly. As Vlad and crew lets those little automated machine robot workers go at it to make sure his tank's able to stay in the fight. But we have this IS-1 trying to push up and give the advantage. Unfortunately, I would say advantage goes to Tiger Tank at the moment, as he went from flaming to nothing in a matter of seconds. That double rep station doing a lot of help and good for him. Who will win the matchup here? Tiger's starting to peak the top. Who will get the first angle? IS-1 backing up more and more. Neither side knowing where exactly they are. As it looks like the spa for the Allies is starting to try to get on in and see if it can help out, as its IS-1 is currently trying to fight this, but oh, there we go. Starting to even out this fight a little bit as the SPA is able to take out one of the two rep stations here. Advantage still going to the Tiger, because neither one of them want to make the first move here. All right, Tiger gaining a little bit of excitement here. A little confidence, trying to make the first push. We are now even, so there's a rep station for each of these heavy tanks. Good work on both sides respectively. Like, peeking the angle. Who's gonna get the first hit? Turret for the IS-1 maneuvering. Gets the first hit. Tiger tank gets the hit as well. Are they going to back up? No, they will not back up. They will get a second shot here. IS-1 hits the turret. But as the Tiger starts to move on back, will they press their advantage? Oh, but Braum able to play with the distraction. That IS-1 not knowing that it's satcheled currently, but Weef, I think, getting the awesome rocket shot, able to take out the Tiger tank as Devil Dog tries to move up. Penny not able to get it in time. Devil Dog will not be able to save this IS-1. IS-1 will fall as we are hitting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Up in smoke, getting 3 kills with it. There you go. So, the tanks doing damage to each other, but not ending up with the kills, respectively. Infantry coming in clutch here, both sides. All right. Now, where does that leave our armor situations now? Let's take a look. No armor for either team in the middle of the middle sector. Nothing. No armor, all being removed. So we've got another IS-1 moving up right here. That's already been marked out. We do have an airhead for SAP trying to get some type of maneuvering going on there. We've got one P4 and one Puma coming up here for the Axis. But whoa, what are we looking at here? We have one little light tank for the Soviets. It's made it all the way back into the defensive point here. Middle hardcat, or middle HQ. That could have caused some problems in trying to get another Tiger tank up here. Glitterbeer and well, just causing havoc back here. So they do have a P4 out here already. This is something you normally see in public matches, not in the competitive sphere. And nobody seems to be responding back to it at the moment for the Axis. Body's starting to come off the airhead for SAP in the north. We'll go ahead and take a look at it here in a minute. But want to see if these guys can go ahead and get this Panzer IV that's up here. Better yet, Tiger tank coming out of the right HQ. Just playing kind of a sapper role all by itself back here. This little light tank trying to punch well above its weight class. Take out some of these larger tanks sitting in HQs. Now keep in mind, this is a 40 versus... Is it 40? I believe it's 40 versus 40. Yeah, matchup here. So lots of stuff can happen as... I mean, it's not quite 30s or 35, so it's not as easy to get around, especially on such a wide open map. Good on the Russian crew for being able to get as far back as they did. Skeptic moving on up into defense in depth. Now we can see the garrison currently located right there. Able to take 1 OP though. Skeptic able to go ahead and cause a little bit of damage here. Captain Caveman though, ending his run through the point. The garrison sitting right in the middle of the open. their commander, Policarpo, or Chow's back there, were able to spot that garrison through the help of their magnifying binoculars. But more and more bodies coming off of that backside for SAP. Currently sitting with 2 OPs and the beginnings of a garrison. T-34, though, appears to maybe be searching around for something. Airhead no longer available for the SAP crew. Gonna have to get that garrison up off supplies. But unsure if Penny and company are looking for airhead or what they're looking to try to do. Maybe they're trying to get around and help out in the backside as well. As that light tank continues to just cause problems back here. SAP, though, to their credit, holding very strong on the defensive end. Even with the push from TRR, they're still able to go ahead and hold up here as we near the halfway mark of this matchup here between these two. All right, light tank already taking some shots up against the SAP SPA here. That is a lot harder than I thought it would be to say that. The defensive debt point, SAP starting to get more and more bodies off of it. Oh, B squad was very close to seeing a garrison in the back there. As a rocket from Weef, narrowly missing that Panzer IV, moving on up. Skeptic, though, back causing some more havoc in the back line here. Running around with the assault class, probably has some type of satchel there. But Fokker, that's going to make the PPSH better than the STG in that instance. Big spawn wave off the garrison, though. Continue to put more and more bodies back here. As Martin Brown moving up the trench, trying to figure out where these guys are coming from. Slowly pieing his corners. Good work on Martin there. Taking out some supplies here. Ammunition. Brown. Moving up. Big spawn wave off the OP. Did Martin see it? He did, but he was met with a wall of lead coming back from Brom and Oliveira. Gruber moving up. Getting shot, misses the first one. Able to get the second one, though. As more and more bodies for SAP begin to fill up on those OPs in the back. Garrison now gone up for them. How many bodies will they devote to this backside pressure? Forming a nice lineup into the point. Major Fokker coming on up, trying to do what he can to spot this incursion going on in the back line. Here's the SAP has been able to move a lot of their guys holding off the western side of Yamki back into the airhead and garrison location. Leaving the remaining guys to continue to hold their line on the front door of Oleg's. With that, we see some cap progress starting to come in for TRR. But no sooner has it been sniffed out as we begin to go back in favor of SAP. Turbo Taco moving up on Lucas, but Lucas was able to take him out. Appreciate you guys joining us again. I'm Night Falcon here, host of Falcon Studios. Very happy to bring you this matchup here in week 1 of OSCL. As always, we appreciate any likes, any subscribes, any shares as we try to mount our push to 500 subscribers. Be able to get us some additional advantages from the YouTube overlords. Invite your friends, like, share, subscribe. If you're interested in Hell Let Loose competitive, if this is your first time seeing it, by all means, There are plenty of resources out there. Fellow caster Smithers, host of Smithers Cast, has recently done a good amount of work to try to help people get... That is a great rocket there as I'm in the middle of talking here. Docino, great rocket taking out that garrison in the middle of defense in depth here, leaving no garrisons on the back line currently for TRR as they are forced to continue to move on back. As I was saying though, Smithers doing a lot of good work trying to get people into the Hell Let Loose competitive community, as it is a very, very fun place to be, I must say. I myself have been in it for the better part of about a year and a half. I've enjoyed every moment of it. It's honestly how this game was meant to be played. If you enjoy it in the pub lobbies, like the public Blueberry lobbies, you will very much enjoy the coordination, the planning, and just overall teamwork that goes into these Hell Let Loose competitive matches. So if you're interested, I invite you to go ahead and take a look under the Enlist tab in your browser, your server browser when you're in the game. Play around in some community areas. This bombing run comes through for SAP. Nearing 2/3 of the way capped here for SAP. All hands on deck, trying to get back for TRR. But there are communities for everybody scattered everywhere around the world. SAP, I know, is down in the Southern America, Brazil area, I believe. So if you're there, whether you're in the Americas, you're in Europe, there's lots of different places and teams that you can look to join. All different skill levels. Really giving everybody a good opportunity to get into this Hell Let Loose community. As we prepare for Hell Let Loose Vietnam to come in and race and join the party, we eagerly anticipate and seeing how the competitive community will move into that game. But for now, we work with the game that we love right now here, as this push here for SAP is stalled due to the massive response of TRR coming on back. Not quite sure where that precision strike was intended for, as the garrison was removed through the bombing run. But hey, nonetheless, maybe it accomplished what we were looking to try to do. As the garrison still for SAP in the back, continues to pump out guys. It's not yet been eliminated. Recon plane coming in for the Axis. Going up over both points. As that first push for SAP got taken out. There's a lot of guys coming back in here though. How much was TRR able to go ahead and respond back? They got a garrison back up in the middle, hard cap. But a lot of blueberries pushing in from the eastern side. As Drunky, with the help of his MG, mows down Gruber there. Iron Maiden able to stay and cover a little bit behind the bush. Not much in the way of actual like hard cover, but able to at least be a little bit of soft cover and hide himself from the push of that MG. As Iron Maiden takes out Anubis. All right, let's look at the armor situation now. See how we're looking. So right now, we've got one medium tank going all the way over the back line here on the western side. We've got one heavy IS-1 right in the back here. As far as Axis tanks goes, we have one Panzer there, we have one Tiger there, and a second Tiger tank right up here. Lots of smoke going up for TRR here. as Madragona just tries to figure out where all these guys are crawling through. Now, definitely a strategy the infantry can look to use, one I've used myself. Time consuming, but it can be very beneficial to get up to areas, as Raphael was able to go ahead and sneak around, but appears to be losing all the progress he made by crawling through areas as SAP continues to push down in. SAP Handsome, though, able to get a shot on Raphael. Not quite sure exactly if he was able to get the cap or if it was Madriga. Nonetheless, more and more pressure coming in. SAP flooding bodies into the point now. As P-Squad and Spivvy, so Major Fokker and Spivvy are getting closer and closer to this garrison. Neither one of them seen it yet. Will Spivvy be the one to see it? Yes, he does. Most likely that little flitch right there finally identified that garrison. The Spivvy's going to be able to move up and take it out. Finally, that thorn on the backside of TRR going to be removed from the competition. Good work on Spivvy to sit down and try to figure out where that was. But right now, SAP doing very well at just surrounding the push here for TRR into their defensive zone, making it very, very difficult for them to continue to try to mount any type of push onto Oleg's house. As more and more rockets flying in from both sides. We're going to call this the Battle of the Garrison over here, as we have an enemy garrison and a friendly garrison very close here. Axis garrison just behind the smoke on the right side. Allied garrison surrounded by all the Little Red Cherries. Zelensky holding the eagle well, able to take out Mood. Ma didn't. If SAP can get up and take out this garrison, this will be a huge advantage for him, as it will eliminate pretty much all of the push that TRR has on this side, as pressure comes back in for SAP as it begins to contest and capture defense in depth. Right now, SAP owning the advantage here on the Battle of the Garrisons. Who will win? Gonna need a big garrison spawn here to try to save it. Legante, I appreciate the forgiveness. Not quite sure what I did though. You saying I like this stream myself? I'm not sure. Anyway, I appreciate your forgiveness for any misstep I had against you. But now nearing 2/3 of the way, Caps here on the point. SAP continuing to drive into the sector, owning pretty much all of Hardcap. Reinforce is down, so expect, yep, just like that, pressure to go back in favor of TRR. But how long will these SAP attackers be able to hold out? There's a big rush coming on into the point. Welshi getting shots off, but exposing himself greatly to the trenches there, able to get an SAP attacker to go ahead and get up over the edge there. More and more TRR bodies falling. Gruber working up from the backside, leaving Rafik all by him is lonesome. Rafik not long for this world, but taking a couple with him. Oh, but he is owning it. But Gruber not finishing him. Gruber, get him. Get him, Gruber. Oh, Gruber going for the kill of the garrison instead. Rafik now a man all by himself. Gruber falling though. Off the backside OP spawn there. Iron Maiden, will he get Rafik? Or will Rafik stay alive? Oh, Rafik falling to a satchel that was placed in the back line there. Unfortunately for him. Cap going back in favor as Iron Maiden falls. Yeah, going back in favor of SAP. SAP moving in hard as the only spawns are OPs in the area. Or TRR. They have one garrison in the southern side. Right over there by the tanks. Might be able to get enough bodies into the point, but right now SAP still on the push. But it looks like Battle of the Garrison has been decided with SAP winning that battle. As a Panzer, sorry, not a Panzer, a T-34 looks to be moving its way up in, trying to change a little bit of the momentum for the SAP side. Trying to put it back in favor of TRR as it looks to try to just clear out as many garrisons, rep stations, and other things as possible. But the carnage of the AT guns that have been put up by SAP. You can see the graveyard of AT guns there. They are so key on a matchup like this, where you know armor is just going to be huge. Rocket. Very good rocket from Handsome with a handsome rocket, I must say, right in the backside of this T-34. Mark's going out. Bandit in. Facing off squarely against that T-34. Handsome narrowly missing the next shot. As Recon Tank looks to be moving on up. Puma not able to get it. Will the Puma be able to get a shot? It is moving on the backside here. Puma lining up the shot. Will it get a hit? Gets one hit in the back. That's going to be the best possible option for it. Will he be able to get another shot? Missing the second shot. Needs to put it right in the back there. Come on, Elias. You can do it. Use the force, Elias. But that turret for the T-34 not tracking yet onto the Puma. Puma maneuvering around. Use the force, Elias, with that shot and the kill. Force will always be with the force will be with you always, Elias. Good work. Well done by the Puma crew there. Go ahead and get that medium out of point. Good team effort there with the handsome rocket to the backside. As far as resources go, plenty of resources for the Axis crew. Sitting at just over 1,000 on the munitions. Or not the munitions, sorry, the manpower. Plenty of stuff sitting in the pocket there for the TRR, or for the SAP crew. To give you a quick recap now, as we round 30 minutes left in the match. We have had one cap so far in this matchup, and that belongs to the SAP side. Able to come out and take Oleg's house relatively uncontested, as TRR was forced out of their trucks, moving up into the hard cap sector. Here, this supply truck here on the backside taking a hit. Second shot able to get him. Did he get his supplies out though? I don't know if Commander Irritantia was able to do it. Looks like if he was, those supplies, well, no sooner were they laid down, but they were busted up and blown up. TRR, though, slowly pushing back SAP from their pushes into the trenches. Going for the overhead look here. You can see SAP getting forced out of the trenches entirely. TRR owning those well, and is well in hand here. So for the time being, SAP appears to be being pushed back. TRR making their push into the area. Now, with 27 minutes left, very much going to be an exciting finish to this matchup if TRR is able to go ahead and continue to ride this momentum and get into the point. One T-34 on the left side, one little light tank over there. Garrison put back up here for TRR with another IS-1 coming out of the back. Tiger tank coming up. So looking to get a double stack here on the southern side. TRR could look to roll a good amount of damage around through this backside. As Welshi, Raphael, and Private Ryan coming off the OP that got into the back line. Go ahead and watch how this armor push goes. Light tank not waiting for anybody, not waiting for the help of his little T-34 there to help him out. He'll push right up into the point. As it looks like losing the Panzer IV here on the backside. Nope, not a Panzer IV, just an AT gun. Another one to add to the group as its previous occupiers are taking a nap, it appears. For all you kids in the audience, they're napping. That's all, just taking a quick break from the action. Franco with rockets going off onto the light tank. Very good shot, as it appears that the light tank is already damaged. May have gotten engined. As he is nice and quiet here. Domian quick to try to repair it. Franco getting a second shot. One more and he's for sure going to be done for. Oh, but the tank gunner able to go ahead and stay up and take him out there. Well done. Bro, you know me doing very well to go ahead and make sure his tank stays up. Boomyam going to town, just trying to get that back up and going as quickly as possible as the engine appears now to be fully repaired. Mac Daddy moving up and up, though. Will he be able to get the satchel on? Will Mac Daddy be able to be a Mac Daddy and get this up on top? Light tank wisely zooming on out. Good awareness from the spotter to know that Mac Daddy was coming up from behind. So now we have a Tiger tank just trying to push up and maneuver around a little bit here. Just behind us. Here we go. No doubt looking for the little light tank that may have been rolling around, as it has found its way back into the back line. Rocket from Weef landing right in the side. Was it hull? It appears that it was hull damage. As those bazookas are well buffed now. Might have been able to do some hull damage there. Shot, Tiger for the win, taking out the light tank. But this T4, man, going the long haul approach here, all the way in the back line. Not P4, sorry, T-34. Moving on up. Will he be able to take out both the E4 and the SPA that appear to be floating right around Muddy Churn there? Glitterbeard, well, doing what they do best. Getting behind the respective crews. Now remember, they were the light tank earlier that found their way back here. But for their sake, we're going to turn the camera away until they can get right back up in here. The worst thing is the driver to just spin out on something. I hope they're not stuck. Looks like they have freed themselves from the wooden bonds of the wooden fence here. SPA right there in the little artillery area there with the big 88. They get a shot on it. What in the world? What hit it? Oh, the P4 coming out of the middle got him. That stinks. That stinks. Not going to be able to take out that SPA. Got hit from behind. Their flank got outflanked. Handsome doing well to get yet another AT gun up into the area. But a very good placement of this IS-1 here. Going to give itself a lot of cover. Looks like Bandit appears to be the target of that at the moment. Going to stay alive though for the time being. Now I'm honestly surprised we haven't seen as much MG play here for the Allies. Or for the Axis, sorry, as you would think. This is personally one of my favorite maps to be able to play up on. And this house in particular would cause a lot of problems on defense in depth if they were able to get bodies here. An MG on that roof right there. Ooh, good night. But SAP has had a hard time controlling these windmills here. As it appears again, TRR has made their way up into them. So 20 minutes left. Let's look here. Let's talk a little bit about what the setup is. Open up my little screen here so I can draw effectively here for you. Oh, precision strike coming in though. Let's take a look and see where it goes. Looks like precision may have taken out a garrison. Not a tank in particular. Is it? Oh, drills are locked. There we go. All better. So no tank that it was targeted after. Surprise, saying as that heavy was marked up there in the top. Anyway, back to the action here. You can see into the overhead Falcon cam. So, line currently looking good for TRR, who hasn't been able to do a lot when it comes to trying to get into Oleg's, but nearing 20 minutes left in this matchup. They're setting themselves up nicely to try to make some pushes down here to Yamki and Oleg's house. With SAP kind of having to come off garrisons that are all back here. One garrison currently set up there, but it's red. Interesting that TRR has not been able to identify that garrison and take it out. As they had bodies run all around it. This bandit and able to get off of it. Now, again, these two trenches right here, both providing places for those garrisons, is this garrison right back up in this sector here for it, TRR. Totally undefended, but Bandit and Roca appear to be going the other direction. Not quite aware that it is there. And the bodies the TRR did have coming through this sector here have been wiped out, as Ryan, though, able to get a spawn off of it, able to take out Broca and the other SAP player. Oliveira, though, lining up, waiting for him to peek that corner. Advantage Oliveira, I must say. When's the shot gonna come? Let's zoom on over. Okay, we gotta wait for Ryan to get around the corner. Oliveira patiently waiting for his prey to come up and peek the corner. And there we have Ryan. Gets it! Oliveira with the kill. So yeah, this missed garrison right here from TRR causing a lot of damage here as SAP has been able to get off of it and reclaim that sector of their line. The Gruber and Zelensky moving on up. Gruber, will he be able to take out this garrison? Oh, Private Ryan spawning! Oh, I thought Private Ryan was gonna save it. Oh, that's too bad. Gruber gonna take out that garrison though. Devil Dog just gonna be a little too late. Nose him down though. Did we finally have that tiger? Oh, did the IS-1 finally eat the dust? It kicked the bucket. IS-1 currently gone, no longer up. Gonna go advantage for the SAP side on the armor pushes now going in the last 15 minutes. That's gonna be huge. More and more buildings, more and more vehicles, rep stations being destroyed here. Big flopper though back here. Moving up on a half track. Does he know that it's there? Does not look like he knows that it's there. Big flopper though, eyeing garrison potentially. Finally, he hears the rocket. He hears the callouts from the radio. Now medium, just a little too late to be able to save it. Tracking Big Floppa. Big Floppa though falling to Oliveira. Harrison here, map edge. P4 responding back, knowing that that bazooka went off. Sounds like words have not, communication has not yet made it to him that they are very much okay at the moment. Will Leaf be able to get this garrison? Lines it up. No, he aims for the tank though, missing it narrowly. We've not aware that that garrison is right there. Will he be able to hit the shot? Lining up the rocket, it flies, narrowly missing the turret. We've just narrowly weaving on it. Takes a round to the face. P4 able to go ahead and eliminate him. Curtis Cat and Bowl spawning off. Which one will notice the garrison first? Both moving in that direction. Bowl can't hear it yet. A skeptic firing off. Reason why I'm zooming in so closely to Bowl is to hear if when he is going to be able to hear this garrison. Bandit coming off. Bull through the wheat. Here's the shots from Bandit. Rotates, takes Bandit out. Bruno, though, also hearing it. Skeptic, Bruno, not knowing that they're there. Molotov going out. Molotov landing on Skeptic. Skeptic not on fire, though, for the time being. That is unfortunate. I was looking forward to seeing some Molotov play there, but it was very close to hitting that garrison, frankly. That would have been quite the adventure had it gotten it, but OP then taken out. But they're off! They're off! They're back on! Bull! Oh, Bull is able to get Skeptic, but not able to take out the 3 other guys completely surrounding him. So another Katushka strike coming in here for the Allies. Will they get the garrison this time? What a great time it would be for it to hit it. That Tiger tank in danger now. Goose let loose, trying to move on up. Shot coming in from the backside. No team from the backside, though. It appears that it got satcheled. Goose let loose, able to make his impact, take out that Tiger tank. Gonna be huge for SAP. I mean, for TRR. Ooh, that was a close rocket. Did it get it? No, it did not. Rocket narrowly missing garrison. We got multiple rockets landing close. But again, garrison gonna stay true and safe against the Allied bombardment. Been able to get a garrison up in this little broken down house right back here. No, not the broken down house. We are in the field with Woodface and a little LLW Vitor. Woodface with a good angle here. Gonna be able to mow down a lot of these TRR guys coming in from this garrison. Enemy airhead was marked out back here. Appears maybe we had missed it. But if it is there, it's no longer there. I didn't see one go down. $10 left. Will TRR be able to find a way onto Oleg's? Do not yet know. We got a small little incursion of blueberries here, led by SAP Polani. Pillow 1, sorry, Pillow 1. Oh, big rocket from Martin de Bruin. Goed gedaan, Hart. With the excellent rocket going and mowing down that entire blueberry push there from Martin. Able to repeat, getting one more as Ducino able to go ahead and dodge the rocket that sails over. But Martin and Ducino eliminating each other. Pillow 1, Papa Mike, moving on back in through the trench. But still, lots of bodies coming off here for TRR, trying to do everything they can to get into Yamki and make some type of final push down into Oleg's house. And we're starting to see a lot of good pressure coming in from TRR, so this matchup definitely not done yet. They've got 6 minutes and 50 seconds to start mounting some type of push into the point. Closing minutes of the battle. Let's look and see what we are looking at in the way of armor. So we got one up here. It looks like a little, that's the SAP. Or not the, yeah, SPA. SPA. Go in there. got a medium T-34 right here for the allies. And that looks like it. Nope, then we have one. Looks like probably one IS-1 right here. Unaware if that's exactly what it is as my dots are being covered. But it looks like an IS-1 from what I can see off of that camera. Now, as far as the Axis forces go, we've got a Tiger tank. And we've got a little recon out here. And a Panzer IV coming out of the HQ right now. So, 2 heavy tanks in the attacking area. With some medium tanks and whatnot trying to come on up and help out the fight. So really evenly matched when it comes to the armor situation at this time. Welshi, though, making the push into the point here. Uncontested, hasn't gone noticed yet. Welshi moving up. Known for having quite the rampages in his past as well that we've covered here on the Falcon cast. Will he be able to get his OP up? Looks like he might have to wait for it to cool down in the closing seconds. B squad. B squad, do you currently have an OP? Yes, you do, right up here. Having to wait for it. The clock, not the friend at the moment. Well, she's just trying to stay still. Not bring a lot of attention to his presence here. As that T-34 appears to have made its way up into the point, looking to cause as much chaos as it can here. Rocket from Franco missing, falling well short. Do not stop. You cannot stop there. No, keep moving. No, bro, you know me, Fury and Boom Yum. Satcheled here by Robert, unfortunately. They do not know that they are satcheled, or at least are not making any notice that they are satcheled at the moment. Boom Yum jumping out, though. Not going to be able to do it, as the driver now out of the tank is going to end up with this thing going up in smoke, unfortunately. Well, she's still up. OP has gone up. First spawn going off. Martin the Brown off. OP stays alive from the satchel. Olivier taking shots on Martin the Brown. Welshi, though, does not appear that he survived that satchel. As the SPA for the Allies appears to be joining the fight. Spawning Welshi and Drunky back off. Olivier moving up, though. It takes out the OP. Well, she's gonna need to stay up and alive. Well, she needs to get back up into the point here and get that OP, but he's gonna be needing to cool down for about another minute before that's gonna be available. Where is our IS-1? Did the IS-1 go down? Oh, it looks like we missed, and the IS-1 is no longer up. Madrigoa. Down, unfortunately. Well, she no longer with us, as Zelensky from the backside taking him out. The SAP doing everything they can to hold on to this point, as TRR is encircling them at this moment. Now, plenty of munitions, plenty of manpower. Be interesting if they launched a counteroffensive here, maybe with a bombing run airhead combo here for the Axis. That would be quite the interesting push. As a second light tank moves on up into the point here. Oh no, well, keep going, well. Oh, well, falling not only to the shot, falling to the AT shot there, unfortunately, but it was not long for this world as the tank also crested the hill and took a hit at it. But SAP losing all of Yamki right now. TRR holding on true there. One minute, 43 seconds left here. Will TRR be able to do it? They're manning some good pressure. But SAP appears to be responding very well off of garrisons in the middle of hard cap and just controlling the sector. As always, we invite you to stick around for an extra couple seconds here after the broadcast, as we will go over the stats for this matchup very quickly. Airhead coming down for the Allies. But I fear it might be a few minutes too late, unfortunately, as the airhead getting rocketed from all different directions. Airhead no longer with us. It is gone. Set to go right up over the top, though. Looks like it will be taking out a couple guys. Doesn't appear that SAP knows that they've gotten it out there yet, as Franco is continuing to push up into the point, as we hear the whine of the engines from the bombing run coming on in. Glitterbeer appears to be the only person that's going to be on the receiving end of that. Holy crap! Glitterbeer's got plot armor, man. I do not know how he survived that. Those bombs went right over his head. I don't know, but if we had a couple minutes left, I'd say Glitterbeer was going to do something pretty miraculous and special, but unfortunately, even with the plot armor, it's not going to be enough to save him as the reinforcing airhead comes in for SAP. SAP, though, going to win this initial week 1 matchup here between them and TRR. One cap was all that was needed, and SAP was able to grind it out, getting pressure onto defensive depth, but at the end of the day, it's too much for TRR as they are going to fall to 0-1 here in this week 1 matchup, Division 2 of OSCL. So just a brief recap here. And off the start, SAP able to roll out pretty well and own that hard cap without a lot of pressure from TRR. And that really was the thing that sealed it, as TRR just really struggled to get back up into the point. SAP doing a very good box out to prevent TRR from being able to get up and cause any problems, as hardly any pressure ever went onto the hard cap sector here for SAP here. With that, victory goes to SAP with a 3-2 victory here on Kursk. Go ahead and give our commendation here to our friendly commander and get up to the top. The Carpo leading his team to victory. All right. Let's go ahead and we will switch on over here to our desktop. And let's talk a little bit about what got us here. Let's turn on some fun background music here real fast. No, it looks like I've turned that off. Too bad, you guys are going to just have to listen to the sound of my voice. No background. I guess here we could do some PS5 in the background. There you go. How about that? Give you something to listen to. All right. So as far as it goes for leaders of the team, Big Floppa gonna finish out here, top fragger of the match, up 75 kills. Hingham 71, Red Devil 67, Legion Werewolf 64, and Private Ryan also 64. Elias with the honorable mention at number 6 there with 64 as well. Rounding out your top kills. 5 seconds here until it officially flips over and we can open up our little stat window right there. All right. So looking at it, here we go. All right, so Axis, that's going to be the SAP side. Ally is going to be TRR. Axis infantry leading the kill counter there, 1,058 to 889, beating him by just under 200 kills. Machine gunners coming up big for the Allies, though. Again, I was a little surprised we did not see more action from the machine gunners here for the SAP side, but at the end of the day, it does not appear that it cost them anything, as they were able to still win the matchup. The advantage of the MG is going to the Allies, though. Artillery 0, SPA Arty only getting kills here for the Allies. So definitely something that they're going to want to look into, trying to figure out maybe what happened there, as I know that the Axis were running SPA as well, but it appears that no kills being registered for it. Armor advantage going narrowly to the Axis forces, winning by only 3 kills there. Bazookas being fairly even. Pat guns, SAP had lots and lots up, but it looks like as soon as they got put up, they were taken off and taken down, because they only were able to get 3 kills with the Pat guns versus the 8 of the Allies. So let's take a look here. Now this is interesting. So again, this differential rank right here takes the top killer on both teams, compares them to each other. So for the first little bit here, we actually have TRR winning that differential. It's not until you usually get to the kind of that middle ground area, the rank and file team, where we see a lot of the advantage going towards the TRR, or sorry, the SAP side. So that's really where the battle in the trenches, so to say, was won by SAP there. So good work, both teams, able to go ahead and have a very good 90-minute match here. I appreciate everybody joining us today. Again, my name has been Night Falcon, joining you here today on this game. Week 1 matchup here between TRR and SAP. Any likes, any subscribe you guys are able to go ahead and give to the channel are greatly appreciated. And with that, appreciate you guys for all joining us. We'll see you guys next time on the battlefield.